join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everybody and ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Good morning. Farnham.
Here.
Lorenzo.
Here.
Ludington.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Bruner.
Here.
Chittick.
Here.
And Voigt.
Here.
Excuse me a second, I'll turn the air.
Hey, is this thing recording? I can't hear.
Excuse us, folks.
Hang on one second. We're
Here, I can
a little-
push the button, Don.
Is this doing, is it saying it's recording?
Did you push that button right there?
Yeah, but it was already, I thought it was,
Yeah, it's counting.
okay.
You see that?
We good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Next order of business is the minutes from August 2nd, 2018, and the special meeting of I'll say that again. Minutes from the August 2nd special board meeting and the August 8th regular board meeting of 2018. Gentlemen, you've had those in for several days. Do I hear a motion to approve those as presented? Phil moves.
Second.
Derek seconds. Assume you're ready to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next, we have the claims against the county. You've likewise had those for a couple of days. What was your pleasure, or do you have any questions or need any information? Hearing none, accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Derek moves.
Second.
Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next, we have the county board member claims. You've had those for a couple of days. Any questions? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve those claims. Bill moves. Dan seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Now we come to the portion of our meeting where we ask for public comment. We allow 5 minutes per presentation. Is there anybody who would like to address the county board? Would you step up to the rostrum and identify yourself, sir?
So I'm Dave Anderson. We live at 22662 East 175th Road out in Paris. For those of you not knowing where that's at, we're about 1.5 miles straight east and 1/2 mile straight north of Pumpkin Works. Really what I'm here to talk about today is what I feel like is a crisis within the judicial system in the county. And why do I say that? On the 22nd of May, we had a gentleman from West Terre Haute kick in our front door. Fortunately, we had an alarm and called Sheriff Wood and E. Bergen and deputy from Clark County as well. But by the time they got there, he had been in the house, took some articles. Long story short, I had a trail cam set up taking pictures of deer in the front yard that happened to catch his picture. Very clear pictures, thanks to, again, D. Bergen and Sheriff Wood. Pictures were put up on Facebook within an hour. We knew who the guy was, where he lived, and he had actually been in Terre Haute trying to buy a TV stand for the TV he stole out of our house. Thought everything was cool at that point, thought we had him nailed. Took 10 days to get an arrest warrant, which I thought was excessive. But then he went into the black hole that is the legal process within this community. And it's been now 4 months. He's been to, I think, 3 pretrial hearings. I spent 2 hours with Mark Isop last Wednesday and was told that realistically we're at least a year or potentially a year and a half away before the guy goes to trial, if he goes to trial. In talking with Mark about the cause of that problem, he says the legal system in the county is totally overwhelmed. There's one courthouse, or there's one room in the courthouse that's suitable for jury trials, and 80% of the people that they catch request jury trials. Mark claims he files 20 felony charges a month, of which 1 goes through the trial process, 5 to 8 get plea bargained down, and the rest of them go into the backlog. So you've got a system that is continuing to grow and grow and grow, and the problem gets worse and worse. I asked Mark, okay, so what do we do to fix the problem? He said, one thing in particular, we have a full-time state's attorney, we have a half-time state's attorney. The half-time state's attorney handles misdemeanors and traffic. Mark handles the rest of the cases. But coupled with that, we have a public defender, which 80% of the people that go into the process demand support them, and that public defender we share on a part-time basis with Clark County. He's here 3 days, he's there 2 days a week. So you have a caseload where the public defender in no way can keep up. And even if there are plea bargain deals offered, he doesn't have time to present them to the client until they come to court. And as a result, you have court appearance after court appearance after court appearance. And to me, having to wait 1.5 to 2 years to get justice on something when you knew within an hour who the guy was is totally unacceptable. I told Mark I've lived here all but 2 years of my life. This is the first I've heard that the problem was this bad, and asked why. Well, the county doesn't have any money, we're building a new high school, we've got a jail that needs to be replaced, we've got a courthouse we had to put a roof on, but that's unacceptable. You know, in my mind, the responsibility of the county board is to protect the well-being of the people of the community. And when you've got a jerk that does this and has repeatedly done it for years and years and years, and nothing's getting done to him, he's out on bail running around, potentially doing the same thing, it's not right. Mark may be aware of another instance, and you know, it's, in my mind, one that if the public knew about, they'd be screaming bloody murder. And that's 2 predatory sex offender cases that occurred within the county. In both cases, it involved juvenile girls. In one case, it took 2.5 years to get to trial. The second case took 3 years to get to trial. Meanwhile, the guys were out running around, potentially doing the same thing to other young ladies. So, you know, I don't know what the answer is. I think you need to do some fact finding to find out what the answer is, but as a minimum, you need to fund the full-time public defender. So, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I've got a question. In talking to Mark, you're talking about the public defender, he's here 3 days, down there too. Is it a full-time person or a part-time position? I mean, is that his full-time job?
That's his full-time job.
But 3 days?
3 days here.
Okay.
You know, we're part of the 5th Judicial Circuit.
Right.
We're, you know, you've got Charleston, you got Danville involved in it, so we're,
Right,
you know, we aren't gonna be at the top of the list of priorities for them.
okay.
And they do pull in other public defenders when they're needed.
Sometimes
You
there's
know.
conflicts and they use some local attorneys
Yeah.
on those needed cases, but I wasn't sure whether that, public defender was a full-time position or just a part-time position.
And the guys that are in the system, and this guy in particular, they know how to play the game.
Sure.
And they're gonna do everything they can to drag it out, and drag it out, and drag it out. And meanwhile, you know, our part of the county is becoming a vigilante area. People carrying guns in their vehicles. I got shotgun, in all honesty, at the front door, so. Jeff, I don't care.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Any other public comments, please? Hearing none, we'll move on with the agenda. We have the next item, a select proposal for guaranteed energy savings project. I think we're going to move to table that. Do you have a meeting set up or anything yet?
Not yet, we decided we'd do that today.
Okay.
I'll set something up.
Do you want to make a motion to table then?
I'll make a motion to table that.
Do we have a second, please?
Second.
Derek seconds. All those in favor of tabling the selection process for this meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, we'll table that. The committee's gonna meet, and then we'll have it on the, we'll deal with it as soon as we can. The idea was no later than the next meeting, but if you find that we're in a position to do something before then, we can do it. Okay?
And if you would, please let me know when you're gonna meet, and I'll schedule that and find a place for you and get it posted correctly.
Okay.
Thank you, Augie.
Thank you.
Resolution to increase assessing fees. Do we have a document?
Oh, you want that document?
Okay, it's right here. Basically, and do you want to address this briefly, Dina?
No, we discussed it in the study session, so unless there's questions.
Does the board have any questions? Basically, the resolution will now read that in the future, a charge of $7 per parcel will be charged for completing assessment works for townships and multi-township vacancies with the district. And the supervisor of assessments will handle that out of her office. Okay?
Dina, can you just go through the math that we used to put that $7 figure, how it's not an arbitrary number? Can you explain that for
Well,
the public?
we discussed what it would cost to send 3 people out in the field, approximately 2 weeks for a quad, a week for a non-quad, plus mileage, and that's a guess. Every township is different size and shape, so these are all estimates. I used what it would cost to pay these people overtime, because not only are they responsible to do that work, but they still have duties in the office. So a lot of that's gonna be done after hours, on Saturdays or holidays. So, and then I tried to take an average, townships again are different sizes, different parcel counts. So came up with an average of what it would cost us.
And there were 2 calculations, right? And this is the lower of the 2,
Correct.
right? And this is also, we rounded it down because the average on the lower calculation was 730, is that right?
Something, yes, I don't have that in front of me, but yes.
So this was the lower of the 2 calculations and a round down to come to that $7 figure.
Right, and then trying to find an average, because obviously a quad year is gonna take a lot more time than a non-quad, but rather than have a fee for this kind of year and a different fee for this kind of year, we tried to find an average of where it would be appropriate, no matter quad or non-quad.
Thank you.
Anything else, gentlemen? I'd entertain a motion to approve this resolution, please.
So move.
Oh, go ahead, Carl. Wait.
Are you currently doing this for any of the townships?
We had to do it this year for Ross and Prairie.
Okay.
Okay, we
But
have,
this will go into effect next year,
And it's a concern
if
to
they
us,
have you do it next year.
and Ross and Prairie are both quads next year. So it's gonna be a large amount of time and effort for 3 people to be gone 2, 3, 4 weeks out of the office doing that, and not in the office doing what they need to be doing. So it'll be a hardship on us if they choose to
But
have us
they,
do it.
and they have time to, if they don't want you to do it, they have time to come up with someone to do it for next year?
Yes, they had an assessor in place
Right.
until they found out so there are people available to do the work for them, I mean, other than us. So they absolutely have other options besides being forced to use this.
Okay. I'll second that.
okay, Derek moved, Carl seconded. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Augie, would you please call the roll?
Farnham.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Luddington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Bruner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
6-0.
Does pass, thank you, gentlemen. The next item is a resolution from Joseph E. Meyer authorizing chairman to execute a deed of conveyance for said parcel on 702 Douglas, Paris, Illinois, to James T. Lucas and Alice Crandall. This will put the property back on the tax rolls, So are there any questions? Don, do you have any comment?
Other than, this property was offered in the summer auction, and the 30-day auction period ended August 24th, and 15 minutes before the auction ended, they sent me a notice to pull this from the auction. And that happens, but it just seemed like 15 minutes before the auction, I believe somebody had already submitted a bid, and it wasn't these people. These people are, I think, tied in with the previous ownership, so I don't know what happened there, but
Well, there's, I mean, that's.
all I'm saying is, Joseph Meyer, they handle these things, and I felt a little bit uneasy about 15 minutes before the auction, pulling something that somebody had already put a bid on, but anyway.
So what are you saying? We shouldn't do this?
No, I'm just saying.
Everything's legal and they done.
Yeah, they've done everything, it's just I've never seen it pulled 15 minutes before the end of the auction. They put that out there for someone to bid on 30 days prior, and then it just went away. We've had others pulled, but usually it's a week or two before the auction ends, so.
Have a motion to approve this resolution. Carl moves,
Second.
Dan seconds.
Can I ask Don a question?
Sure.
Has there been any interest in the property on Wood Street?
There were no bids on it. Now it's first come, first serve. Anybody that wants to approach the tax agent can buy it for the minimum bid of $800 and some.
There you go, Dan.
Well, if you're gonna mow it, you may as well own it.
Little retirement property.
It could already be sold, though. We would not be aware of it.
Fixer upper.
Put more cats over there.
All right. Here, Dan.
I'm gonna turn that bill.
Would you call the careful? Would you call the roll, please, of
Yes.
the resolution?
Farnum.
Yes.
Lorenzen.
Yes.
Luddington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Brunner.
Yes.
Chittick.
Yes.
6-0.
Does carry. Thank you, gentlemen. Next item is to accept the filing of Administrative Order 2018-3, reappointing Joe Good as jury commissioner. Motion to accept that administrative filing. Phil moves.
I'll second it.
John seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next, the Kiwanis Honeybee Committee would like to use the courthouse lawn during the Honeybee Festival beginning at 5 p.m. on the 28th of September until the evening of September 30th.
26.
What'd I say? 26th through the 30th, pardon me.
It's basically a Wednesday evening to Sunday evening. Set up all the way through to clean up.
Do we discuss the mowing clause with the one?
Have we?
Yeah.
No.
I think so.
Okay. Just curious.
Sheriff's got it covered. Motion to approve request, please.
So moved.
Second.
That'd be Dan and Andy. And just as not a footnote, but also the sheriff is aware and has no problems with this. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Next, we'd like to reappoint the following Edgar County Housing Authority board members with terms expiring, and that's David Wright would be 8/19 of 22, and Betty McCloskey would be 8/19 of 22. Can I have a motion to approve those appointments, please? Andy moves,
I'll second.
John seconds.
You can
We
have it.
call the roll, or do we need to? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right,
Present.
you're present? Okay.
Who's that?
It's here, man.
Next, we move into officer department head reports. Don, you have the con.
Okay, you've got your report. I plan on doing the processing of a distribution starting here today or tomorrow, where I do the computer work. And then hopefully, the letters will be mailed out and the money hit Monday to the bank accounts of the taxing districts. If any of you are asked the question, when's the next distribution? Those are the approximate amounts that's going to hit our accounts. As you look at the general fund balance up there at the very top, it's kind of sets you back on your heels, but that's because, part of that is because we've yet to receive any of the fees except sales tax this month. And also, compared to a previous year, a year ago, they had already received almost $300,000 more in property tax. So, you know, once again, it's a cash flow thing of when everything hits. So I did some quick calculations, and it's on Jeff's sheet, that I came up with about $600,000 compared to last year at this same meeting.
Receipts.
Yeah, receipts. So that being the case, you bring that 600,000 down or up, however you want to look at it, to the previous year, it would be right in the same ballpark as a year ago.
So that means the subtotal would be 655?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. I'm just saying, I knew there had to be some kind of logical reason. You just don't be about twice what you were the year before without there being some kind of factor, and that was just some of the factors I found. Mainly, the distribution process had not got the second distribution yet, for one thing, which was about $300,000. That was about half of it, half of the difference. So, other than that, we a due date of October 12th is the second installment. I will ask this: any news on the work that is going to be done at the annex regarding the concrete and the door, the inner door in the hallway? I know that we had them come and look, but I haven't heard anything. And I know it's summertime. We're not the only one on his list, but
I haven't heard anything back from him yet,
yeah,
so.
I haven't. So I just,
I've gotta get with him.
yeah.
I'll make a point to try to, if I see him out there, to stop and talk to him and see where his status on this.
What's your time frame on when would be good or not good to do? I mean,
Anytime, I'm just,
you know what your rush is.
needless to, at this point in time, it'd be better to start after October 12th. You agree, Dina?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no sense in cluttering things up, but, so, anytime after that middle weekend in October, I can see where it would be very beneficial to everyone. Less problems. Other than that, I'll think of something here later, but do you have any other questions or have any questions from anybody?
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Nicole, Eric called me and said that he would like to come. I haven't heard back. When are you folks gonna come in and address the board?
Is that what you offered first?
I said either the study session last Monday or the one in a week and a half.
The one in a week.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. I just wanted to let the board know that you had requested. Do you have anything to talk to us about?
Nothing new. Our first responder class starts today that we're doing, and our EMT class, the new hybrid flip classroom version that we talked about last month, starts next month. And it's over half full already. We opened it up on Thursday, so looks like we'll have another full class for that.
Any questions of Nicole? Thank you, Nicole. Morning, Janet.
Morning. Just want to make sure everyone's aware we are having our annual car seat check event on September 28th at the health department. It'll be in our parking lot from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock. It's actually a drive-through event. People can just drive right out there to the parking lot, and our techs install the new car seats. We have two different grants. One of them, the seats are free. One of them are reduced cost seat, very affordable for everyone. So I want to make sure that everyone's aware we have that going on. Also, our flu shots are available now, so $25 again, just like the last lot of years. So price is the same, so we have them available now.
Do you have pneumonia shots too?
The pneumonia shots usually have to call ahead to get their.
But you do have them available.
Yes.
Those are VIP shots. You got- Are they just the actual injection, or are they the nasal ones, or what's the status of the actual?
Their injection. Yeah, we get to stick a needle in you, yeah.
This one requires 2 shots or 1?
Pardon me?
And their new one out that requires 2.
You-
shots for
The
pneumonia.
nurses have not said anything to me about requiring
I read
to.
something about a new,
I'll check into that.
okay.
What's the tallest teenager that can fit in these car seats?
Don, do you have any more pertinent questions?
No, I just know, I got a certain teenager that forgets to put a seatbelt on. I just thought we'd nip it in the bud right now.
You don't have control of your children? That's right. yeah.
No, I don't have your reputation. I'm sorry, where it's iron fist. I'm sorry.
Does anybody have any more questions of Janet? Morning, Jill.
Good morning. So we attended the IEMA conference in Springfield last week. We got our new shipment of smoke alarms, so we're doing the whole campaign with Red Cross and Paris Fire, doing free installs in the county. And then, I think maybe you've went a couple times the pipeline meeting. Okay, so they've changed the way they're doing that now. They're doing it by region now. So Edgar County got selected as one of the regions. It's gonna be November 13th. I think registration's at 5:30 and the actual meeting starts at 6 and they're feeding everyone. It's free, so.
Where's it at?
once- Huh?
Where's it at?
The Casey Hall.
Okay.
So I'm working with Tara from the pipeline and planning all that, and then invitations will be sent out to everybody, and then we just send our stuff in for accreditation, so usually that takes, we're supposed to know soon, but usually you don't get your certificate and stuff for 6 months, but it's the state. But other than that, that's about it.
Any questions of Jill? Yes.
Maybe I missed it. Have they fixed the door?
No,
Have they spread the insulation out in the attic?
no,
Okay, just checking.
nope.
What,
We're out here, we've called probably, the last person we talked to was Dad Carey, and he got really busy working somewhere out of town, and I called him not too long ago, and
we have arranged for it. It's just not getting done.
it's just, everybody forgets about us out there.
Okay. This one,
person can't be over about
Yeah.
the big square, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the,
Yeah.
anyway, maybe your teenager could come over and visit for Jill.
there you go.
What are you gonna be paying on? How much?
I'm
I'm his
$1 an
agent.
hour on the watering break.
Okay, anything else? Jeff, morning.
Good morning. Not a whole lot. We've been busy here lately. We have got our vehicles in, trying to get them road ready. Waiting for the light people to get them finished up, so other than that, things are kind of good at the jail right now, so.
Would you be so kind as to make sure I sign that document that you need signed
Yeah, got it here.
before we leave
The meeting's
today?
over, yep.
Thank you. Any other questions of Jeff at this point? Morning, Mary Lou.
Morning.
Angie? Morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, you? I saw you earlier. Courtroom looks good.
Oh, thanks. I don't have a lot. Did you get an invitation to the dedication of the Abraham Lincoln portrait? They're gonna do that on September 21st. I have a new person, Cheryl Funkhauser, started working in my office last week. Stop in and say hi to her. That's about it.
What time is that on the 21st, do you know?
I was thinking 1:30, but
That sounds right.
I'm not positive.
1:30.
Can you send out a little reminder to everybody, because we got that
Did you all
invitation?
get those in the mail?
Yeah.
You should have.
I saw it yesterday, Judge showed it to me, it was really nice.
Yes. It is. Dina?
Thank you for the new resolution, and unless there are other plans, and with your blessing, I would like to send a letter out to all township supervisors to notify them so they can do budget planning for that. Other than that, we are closing out townships, and hopefully the tax cycle will be back on schedule.
Any questions of Dina? Morning, Tom.
Morning. Nothing to report.
We do have those documents that, we received some documents from Barry yesterday that needed to be signed. Those are being returned here as soon as Augie can get them to him. So that's being taken care of.
Tom, do you by chance have the date of the airport days or?
I think it's the last weekend in October, but I'm not sure I'm right. So don't write that down, I'll call you. It is in October.
Again, well, we'll talk about that later. Thank you, Tom. Anything else from Tom? Okay. Augie?
In chronological order, on September the 19th, there are going to be some visitors who are guests of the State Department. These are international guests who are traveling around the state to get a better idea of how elections work in a free democracy. So, what? So,
Russians?
there
No
may be.
various countries.
I don't know, but there may be. The guy from Hong Kong canceled, so I don't know. But they're gonna come here on the 19th, and I'm gonna visit with them and explain the process, how we do it here. So I'm assuming that they're gonna sample small, medium, and large size counties. And that's the 19th. If anybody wants to attend that, please come on up. I had the Lincoln presentation. Thank you, Angie, for reminding that. And then September 27th, voting begins for the November 6th election. Questions for me?
Well, it sounds like it's onward and upward then. Thank
I
you,
just,
Augie.
quick question, I thought the early voting period was 30 days before the election, so how do you start on,
It's 40 days.
is it 40, okay?
See, you were wrong, wasn't
Yeah, I was wrong,
it?
and I will publicly admit it.
Okay, Mike.
Okay, we'll move along to committee reports. Dan?
I talked to Anne Reese, she said the animal shelter is full of dogs, so if anybody would like to adopt one or two, we'd be glad to help you out. But everything else going fine.
Okay.
Food situation's taken care of, so
Food is?
the food situation is taken care of, so.
So we're getting some donations where that's concerned.
So,
Okay. All right. Andy?
Not much today. Once we get together on this energy audit thing, I think a lot of questions will be answered about quite a few things, so.
And again, basically, that's who we're the most comfortable with and think they can help us the best.
Right, most advantageous
Right.
to what we need to get done, so.
Well, Augie and I stand whatever you need or whatever you think is the appropriate approach, we'll get it taken care of for you. Okay? Bill?
Nope.
John?
It's quiet.
Carl?
On the public defender, they have their own line items, stuff in the budget.
Yes, sir.
And is that submitted from the public defender's office or through the judges?
Yes, and the state. And they reimburse us X amount every month for that particular line item. So it's all,
Reimburses us?
yeah,
How much, what percentage?
2/3.
thank you. Like I said, 2/3.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
2/3.
Around 66,000.
And then there's a line item in the court budget that when, like you talked about, if we have a conflict or something's not, so that we pick up the cost of additional attorney's fees for indigents or special circumstances. We also pick up things like mental health issues, if they should need to have they have special needs. We also pick up things like detective work, all kinds of different things we pick up, in addition to help a person.
that's what would it cost the county to hire our own full-time public defender? The possibility?
Yeah, probably $100,000. And that wouldn't be, probably wouldn't include any secretarial or any of the other things necessary.
But I guess the question is, if we're hiring a part-time one, and we have fill-ins, and, you know, I don't follow it outside of reading the paper and seeing who's representing who. You know, it would be interesting to look at how much of an increase it would be, because you would be cutting out a lot of the part-time expenses. You know, I have no clue how it would come out, but it'd be worth looking at.
If we look at some of our claims, when they hire an outside attorney to represent somebody, it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
If you look in the bills and the pay out.
Yeah, and it's pretty common practice, and I just, like I say, I just have never sat down and studied the numbers.
But whether you have a full-time or a part-time public defender, you're still gonna have those conflicts that you're gonna have to hire these out-time people.
The occasional, yes, but it should be less also, I would think. And you know,
Not necessarily.
Depending on how the scheduling works.
yeah.
And remember, the state also reimburses us for the state's attorney. The assistant state's attorney, we do not get reimbursed for. So we share that gentleman at this point. I think so, yeah.
And that's a full-time position, and is it split equally between us and Clark County, or we have?
I
Not,
couldn't tell you that. I think we get a little bit more of this. Go ahead,
So it's
Jeff.
half his time
For the
here.
assistant, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's split 50/50.
Now, in the public, I'll have to look at the budget, but there isn't a secretary for the public defender, is there?
No.
It's just they do all their,
It's through their office, yeah.
okay.
Let's see, public defender, the budget is 140 grand. We do split office supplies. We have 10,800 budgeted for office supplies and salary of 128,100. Okay? That's this year.
Have they submitted, do we have the?
John does, I haven't seen it yet. I'll talk about the budget in a minute, but.
That's all I have.
No, that's fine. Is there any other questions? Good questions, Dan. I mean, we need to, well, Dan started it.
Most times.
Anyway, where are we at? Carl, did you have anything else then? Okay. Derek?
So our good chairman is signing paperwork to further our construction project. Project certification came across the wire yesterday, so that's all moving ahead nicely. We're figuring out the best way to have a sale or auction of our old beacon light that's in need of refurbishment. We'll get that figured out and put that towards our cost of our new beacon light. So that'll work out to our advantage. That's it right now.
Okay.
Sometime in October, gonna be a big party out at the airfield. Everybody attend. Dates forthcoming.
All right, as far as the budget, we're at 83.3% of the year has gone by, and we've spent about 77% of the budget. So we're on target there. And if you try to work those numbers out, it's because I've subtracted out the $500,000 on either side of the equation, because we're not borrowing any anticipation warrants. So that actually skews the percentages up a little higher, and I'm trying to be more realistic. Just to add to what Derek says, the bids are due in, and we'll know where we stand on the first phase of the airport on November 9th. About 10 a.m. We'll be contacted by the engineers, Barry, and can't think of anything else. Was there anything else that we need to discuss? Yes.
this is the fellow department heads, kind of your first courtesy request, whatever you want to call it. Because of this accrual attitude for the annual audit, I know that there has been some relief at the state level, right, clerk?
Yes.
But if we continue to at least submit annual reports on an accrual basis, it would be very beneficial to you, because it would put me in a better mood, and very helpful for me if as November comes around, anything that you are paying in before the end of November 30th that is for something in December, like a membership or a dues or something, or anything that you're paying in December that was for November, you might just want to start a spreadsheet, something simple, which anything would be better than nothing, like I kind of had last year. I had to go through all the claims and things like that, and I just need a little help. So that's your first kind of courtesy request. It would help me on that. And second, because Angie reminded me of something I was going to do, I have a new part-time person working in the office, Jennifer Gear, is working there 18 to 24 hours a week and working out well. I hope to see some of that, take some of the load off of my chief deputy and maybe a little off myself. I'm doing some of the clerical stuff.
Don, we got everything in without naming who might not be on the budget? Are we still short one or two? Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, and I know you know who you are, would you please get them in by tomorrow? Or by today, later on preferably. Which brings the budget process. We'll try to get the budget out to the board by next week. You know, it just depends on Don's workload. He's gonna try to get all the numbers plugged in now that we've got them.
Hey, I'll be up there this weekend. Bring me a beer in, drink one with me, whatever, you know.
Oh, good. The levy is almost completed. We're waiting for HRC to give us what they're planning to ask for as far as a levy for next year. Bobby Morris said that he'd have that available on Friday. So I'll get it to Augie and his staff. It should be in the computer, and all you gotta do is, I've got it all marked up except for one page.
We'll get it.
So
We'll get it.
we'll get that out to you as soon as you can. Carl?
We normally get the status where we're at on the budget, and
I forgot.
We
I'm
didn't
sorry.
do anything this month. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll do it after the meeting.
Yeah, it's,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I had it here and I forgot to,
Okay.
thank you, Carl. I would have remembered it sooner or later, I guess, but anyway, it's there. Anything, yes, Janet?
I just wanted to let you know that on the budgets, I will have our budget ready to submit to my board next week at our meeting. So they'll get it ahead of time, so they've got time to look over it. So hopefully my board will approve it next Wednesday and I'll have it to you then.
Actually, Janet, I apologize. I know that, and I didn't mean to include or imply, because I always know, and it's fine. Whenever it gets here, as long as it's, you know, the usual, we'll be fine. So your process is going along good. I was talking more about the Fund 100 budget, Janet. So, thank you very much.
Has
Any-
911 submitted anything?
No, they normally don't. Do they?
They submit something usually after the fact, just for tracking purposes. They call it a projected revenue and expense report. It's not really a budget, but we plug it in so that they can monitor how well their projections are.
Anything else? Is there a need for a closed session today? I don't believe so. The state's attorney hasn't requested this, has he?
No.
I'd entertain a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Derek moves. Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you, folks. We're adjourned.